Are the felons convicted of breaking into the Capitol on January 6th hostages or patriots? I'm quoting Trump, as President-elect Trump has said repeatedly. Do you agree with his characterization of the felons that I referred to?
I am not familiar with that statement, Senator.
He has also said illegal immigration is poisoning the blood of our nation. He said that in December 2023. Do you agree with that statement?
Senator, I am not familiar with that statement, but what I can tell you is I went to the border a few months ago. I went to Yuma, Arizona, and what I saw at that border was horrific, Senator. It was horrific.
Ms. Bondi,
I went to a rape crisis center.
That is
If I
not
could
my
finish,
question.
I went to a rape crisis center. Well, I'm not familiar with the statement, but I went to a rape crisis center. I met with Border Patrol agents. I'm sure you've been to the border as well. So
in what was supposed to be a confirmation hearing on the qualifications of Pam Bondi for Attorney General, things took a sharp turn. Instead of sticking to facts or judicial qualifications, Democrat Senator Mazie Hirono went on a political offensive, grilling Bondi with loaded questions, misleading statements, and partisan sound bites. But Bondi, calm and collected, responded with strength, logic, and poise. Let's walk through the fiery exchange that left the hearing room stunned, and showed why Pam Bondi is not someone to corner with rhetoric. It began with a simple but politically charged question: who won the 2020 presidential election? Bondi replied with what everyone already knows: Joe Biden is the President of the United States. But Senator Hirono wasn't satisfied. She pushed further, accusing Bondi of dodging a deeper acknowledgement. Let's dive in.
I want to ask you a factual question. Who won the 2020 presidential election?
Joe Biden is the President of the United States.
Ms. Bondi, you know that there is a difference between acknowledging it and, I can say that Donald Trump won the 2024 election. I may not like it, but I can say it. You cannot say who won the 2020 presidential election. Okay. It's disturbing that you can't give voice to that fact. Moving on to DOJ's independence from politics. Ms. Bondi, if you are confirmed as Attorney General, you will take an oath to the Constitution and not to any individual, including the President. To start, I'd like to know during the election, during the campaign. First, are the felons convicted of breaking into the Capitol on January 6th hostages or patriots? I'm quoting Trump, as President-elect Trump has said repeatedly. Do you agree with his characterization of the felons that I referred to?
I am not familiar with that statement, Senator.
I just familiarized you with that statement. Do you agree with that statement?
I'm not familiar with it, Senator.
No answer. He has also said illegal immigration is poisoning the blood of our nation. He said that in December 2023. Do you agree with that statement?
Senator, I am not familiar with that statement, but what I can tell you is I went to the border a few months ago. I went to Yuma, Arizona, and what I saw at that border was horrific, Senator. It was horrific.
Ms. Bondi,
I went to a rape crisis center.
That is not my question.
I went to a rape crisis center. Well, I'm not familiar with the statement, but I went to a rape crisis center. I met with Border Patrol agents. I'm sure you've been to the border as well. So
I want to get to my next question. So I believe that you responded to a question from Senator Whitehouse, and let me get your response again. You said that the White House, if I'm putting words in your mouth, correct me. You said that the White House will play no role in investigative or charging decisions in the DOJ. Is that correct?
Senator, what I said is that it is the Department of Justice's decision to determine what cases will be prosecuted.
What role will the White House have in investigative or prosecutorial decisions of the DOJ?
It is the Department of Justice's decision, Senator.
So that sounds to me that you're saying that the White House will not have any kind of role. Meanwhile, though, you have an incoming president who said, I have the absolute right to do what I want to do with the Justice Department. And in fact, President-elect Trump considers the DOJ to be his law firm. I ask you this. If President-elect Trump asks, suggests, or hints that you as Attorney General should investigate one of his proceedings, would you do so?
Me, had you met with
Now,
and who refused or discussed is that it the Attorney General to
I'm very
follow
happy to
the
listen to
law.
your responses under oath, Ms. Bondi. So I think it's really important to us that the Attorney General be independent of the White House. And you have a president-elect who considers the AG's office his law firm. I would like to know whether if the president suggests, hints, asks that you as Attorney General should investigate one of his perceived enemies?
Senator,
you
I
do?
certainly have not heard the president say that, but what I will tell you is 2/3 of Americans have lost faith in the Department of Justice. And it's statements like that, I believe,
Ms.
that make
Bondi.
people continue to lose faith.
What we witnessed in that hearing wasn't just a confirmation process, it was a political ambush wrapped in theatrics. But through every baited question, every hostile tone, and every attempt to twist her words, Pam Bondi held her ground with the poise and professionalism of a true public servant. While Senator Hirono focused on making headlines, dragging in unrelated quotes, hypothetical scenarios, and partisan jabs, Bondi consistently redirected the conversation to what truly matters: the rule of law, the Constitution, and the real concerns of the American people. She didn't flinch when asked to comment on things she never said or endorse claims she never made. Instead, she stayed measured. She reminded the chamber and the country that her commitment is not to any political party or personal loyalty. Her oath, if confirmed, will be to the Constitution and the equal application of justice, and that's what makes this moment so important. Pam Bondi didn't just respond to Senator Hirono. She represented millions of Americans who are tired of justice being politicized and tired of hearings being used as platforms for political theater. She demonstrated that strength isn't about yelling louder, it's about standing firm in your principles when it's hardest to do so. She made one thing unmistakably clear. If confirmed as Attorney General, there will be no weaponizing of the Justice Department, no political vengeance, no selective prosecution, just fairness, integrity, and a renewed respect for the law. That's leadership, that's courage. That's exactly what the Department of Justice needs right now. And that's why Pam Bondi earned more than a confirmation. She earned the respect of everyone who believes in justice without bias, and law without politics. Pam Bondi didn't raise her voice. She didn't need to. Her calm refusal to engage in partisan grandstanding, and her focus on justice and public service, spoke volumes. While others sought headlines, Bondi showed leadership. While some tried to distract, she brought it back to what matters: protecting the American people, restoring trust in our institutions, and upholding the rule of law. That's what true leadership looks like. If you believe in facts over political theater, make sure to like this video, drop a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe for more real moments from Washington, D.C. Until next time, stay informed, stay strong, and stay engaged.